Welcome to Pagan Crafting. Today, we're going to look at 3 witch ball spell recipes and the history of the witch ball. We're going to be looking at a spell recipe for protection, a home blessing, a love spell for self-love for the upcoming year, and the Yule ball for all the ingredients and things we want to invoke for the new year. Join me today and let's have some fun with some pagan crafting. Used throughout history with the Incas, Chinese, and Egyptians, and some Native American tribes. With the gaining popularity in Europe dating back to the 1200s, they used them as ornaments, garden ornaments, for good luck, friendship gifts. They'd hang them in eastern windows on the archways and doorways, placed inside to protect against witches and the outside to protect against evil spirits. As seen here with the witch's ball on display at the Whitby Museum, some of the earlier balls that were used. The witch ball or bottle was to hang in your front door. The witch's ball would have a silver mirror reflective quality. When the witch would approach the home, they would see the ball, see their reflection, and be repulsed by their own reflection and run away. You could also use them as spirit traps. Trap them in, they would come into the ball, then be attracted by all the things that you have inside, such as fiber strands from the glass, strings, hair. The spirit's curious, then gets trapped in the strands, hence where the crystal ball screwing comes from. Once the spirit is trapped in a ball, it is bound by the ball to answer questions you have to ask it. Funny thing now, it is used by a witch and used to attract protection, love, good luck, and so much more. It is such a diverse practice now. The 1200s, glass blowing started in Venice, Italy. The 16 to the 1700s in England, they used to ward off evil spirits and used them for spells. By the 1800s, they crossed the Atlantic to New England and they spread across throughout Europe. In 1840, Norway was the first to produce glass fishing floats. By the 1940s, replacing the wood or cork floats completely. The 1840s, also Germany and Austria were producing witch balls that were commercially blown and mass-produced in brilliant colors and shapes. Sizes and patterns were on these glass balls and were given as a friendship gift. The late 1800s to early 1900s, they became less vibrant, they became colorless, but they were still used for spirit traps. The green glass was from recycled glass and the clear was new. This is where the crystal ball stems from and used by the seers. The 1930s, the witch ball had become immensely popular, sold in boutiques, adorning the pages of women's magazines. This was around the time they started to attract the attention of artists. The shift from the spiritual use as a decorative use, it was believed that you could only find a true witch ball from a spiritualist shop. The witch has adopted the witch ball and used it as an intention item, strings, spells, and used for home protection, love, success, and good fortune, money and friendships, and much more. There are no limits to today's popular uses. Today I'm going to be using quite a bit of Yule correspondences. We're going to take time to set intentions and make new starts. We're going to be using many of the crystals or stones that are affiliated with. I will add rose quartz, which is not part of the Yule. Herbs such as peppermint, cinnamon, cloves, holly, mistletoe are all part of Yule. I'll be using some clear quartz, which is part of Yule. Some charms, some salts, some home blessings, and more. Today we're going to be working with the protection, love, and Yule spells today. I'm going to be using these witch ball as for protection spells and much, much more. So today's crafts can be with anything you would like to use, as long as you have a glass, or you could use a plastic ball too. This one my daughter made. This one is for confidence and self-love. She's a little shy at times, so this one is just something that she's going to use and adorn her altar for all year round. So many examples you could use. I've shown this one once before, but this one is a beautiful tropical bird feather with bones, snake skin. I'm loving it. Shed the old ways. Have a little backbone and set your goals. Fly away the old, or brush away with the feathers the old ways. Like, you can rock this in so many different points and have some fun. I love the feather and bones and skin witch balls. They're just fun. So we're going to start off with a little bit of cleansing here. Those of you, for the brothers and sisters out there, please use sound therapy for the ones that have asthma or in small spaces or can't use an incense or a smudge. Singing bowls, tuning forks, and simply your voice can be used as a cleansing as well. Starting off with rose salt, the Himalayan salt. This is to promote self-love, and it's a substitute for the rose quartz as well. To ground and center, it's good for protection and let go of a toxic relationship. It gives you a clear perspective. It is ruled by the moon and the element water. This is Witch's Love Pink Salt, also ruled by the moon, Venus, and water. This is for self-love, a powerful love magic as well. For healing love, for balancing your heart chakra, and for pure love. Our next up is rose petals, ruled by Venus and the water. You can also write on the rose petals before you put them in any of your spell jars or bottles or balls. All right. It's for love magic. It enhances the beauty and passion and love spells for truth, passion, and confidence. Especially for love magic. Any color of rose petals are perfect indeed. Our next one is pink lilies, which are ruled by Venus. They're also for love, for peace, for femininity, admiration, and also a confidence boost. I collected these last year and dried them out. Dried them out in my dehydrator so they would keep the form. And I liked it because they didn't brown out either. They kept their color, which I was definitely pleased to see. Next up is lavender, ruled by Mercury and the element air. It's for love, healing, protection against nightmares, protection during travels. It promotes peace. It's good for stress relief, a little anger management, brings courage and strength, and increases the potencies and durations of spells. It's good for happiness, healing, love boost moods, and memory. Rose quartz, also ruled by Venus and air. The stone is for unconditional love. It's believed to emit strong vibrations of love, which are thought to support emotional relationship and healing, and to inspire compassion. I'm going to put some clear or some rose quartz along the top of this as well. But first I'm going to use a pink ribbon to wrap to also create a base to hold the stones within the top. I thought it would look so pretty. Now a pink ribbon is to love oneself and others. It's for romance, compassion, and self-respect. So with everything you use here, not only the herbs, the ingredients, the crystals, the ribbon, the adornments, the charms, everything you could use to mean something. Now this is where I would like to put all the little stones on top. So use an extreme generous amount of hot glue. And then you can sprinkle the stones and push them down into the glue. Oh my goodness, it worked out so beautiful. It's like a little queen crown on top of it, or king crown, depending on who's making it. So I'm going to grab a little jump ring here now, using another piece of ribbon. I'm going to open up the jump ring and I'm going to add the heart charm. I'm also going to add a little bit of clear quartz that I've already wire wrapped. The clear quartz is also ruled by Venus. Do you see a pattern here with a love spell? The clear quartz is a master healing stone, has many healing properties. It can clear out negative vibration. It can infuse you with a clear-headed sense of purpose and a positive energy. Spiritually, it can cleanse all and keep your aura clean. Just trying to close up the ring as tight as you can because the ribbon can slip through it. And then I just feed the ribbon through the holes and I attach it with a nice bow on the back. Excuse my hand in the way of the camera. I struggled with this a little bit. It was a little slippery. So excuse my reach. And I'm going to do a 3-loop bow in the back. Let's see if I can do it. I did it. And there you have it. A little clear quartz, a little bit of love charm, a little bit of pink rose, pink ribbon, pink stones, pink everything. I love it. Sending out some love into the universe, what we want to invoke for the new year. All right, so our next one we have here, we're going to start off with peppermint. We are going to make a Yule witch ball today, and this is many of the Yule correspondence I will try to rock within this. Peppermint being one of them, used with Venus and the air. Dried peppermint leaves can be found even in Egyptian pyramids. It was also valued by the ancient Greeks and Romans. Peppermint's magical properties are associated with healing, purification, psychic powers, sleep, and love. They're used for cleansing, consecration, dreams, happiness, healing, love, money, passion, prosperity, protection, psychic development, purification, release and renewal, rest and other sleep. Animal divination, endings, energy, exorcism, good luck, grieving, spirit offering, success, and transformation. It is an all-around super awesome herb. We have the cedar, ruled by the sun and the element fire and earth. It is to strengthen and illuminate your focus, calms, heals, protects, and it creates a secret space. It could also be used for cleansing. Another one of the Yule correspondences as well, one of the sacred trees for the Yule time. I love cedar, so I'm going to try to squish as much as I possibly can in here without taking over too much. And I have a plenty of it, so might as well add a little bit extra in this one. From my last trip to British Columbia, I brought back a bag full. Next up we have is holly, ruled by Saturn, element unknown. It's great for consecration and spells and for material gain. It's good for beauty, protection, luck, and it's good in dream magic, which in a future video for lucid dreaming and dream remembrance in January coming up is why I originally got that herb for. So if you'd like to check out that spell, throw me down a little like up and ring that bell so you know when that video comes out. Next up we have is mistletoe, ruled by Jupiter, element unknown. Mistletoe is a magical, mysterious, sacred plant of the European folk lore. It has long been a symbol of love, peace, and goodwill. It is used to celebrate the coming of the winter by the ancient Druids of Britain. Cloves, mistletoe, and holly, all Yule correspondences. Now, cloves is ruled by Jupiter and the element fire. Attracting good luck, prosperity. It's to help keep good friends close. It's to help stop malicious gossip. It's to prevent from spreading rumors and to keep friendships stronger. Now cinnamon, also from the Yule. Ruled by the sun, a little bit of sun magic. Mercury, Mars, and Uranus, and ruled by the element fire. Good for clairvoyance. It's a raised spiritual vibrations. It helps focus divination, aids in astral projection, prosperity, success, and healing. It's great for lust, passion, power, dreams, strength, courage, and personal empowerment. For luck, peace, and communication, happiness, inspiration, and wisdom. And now I have birch bark, ruled by Venus and the element air. It's for renewal, change, courage, protection. It's a psychic protection and a positive energy to magic. So it's great to enhance this witch bottle. Also another Yule correspondence as well. This birch bark was collected probably 4 years ago at about an hour outside of my home city on a friend's acreage. I found some trees that they had cut down that were old and rotten, but the skin itself, the bark itself was awesome. I got to peel some back and so I found them on some fallen trees along the path. It was pretty cool to find that. I got a lot of good pieces. Now you always want to seal up the witch ball, because if you don't put glue on before putting the last piece on, sometimes the weight of the ball itself could come loose and the ball could smash down, which happened to a friend of mine. I made her a ball a couple years ago. Sadly, it fell down. It was too much weight in the ball where she had it hung. I was so sad. So knowing now, always glue down the little silvery part before you continue on. Adding some red ribbon here, also a Yule color. It's for leadership, compassion, action, passion, and love. Now each one of my witch balls, I've added a charm. And this charm, I'm going to add a leaf because I would like the new springtime to come around again. I'm in the northern hemisphere of the planet, so our seasons follow the Celtic wheel of the year quite closely. I'm going to add some white ribbon for purity, kindness, protective healing. White is also used for innocence, illumination, grace, and perfection. Now I'm going to take one last piece of ribbon. I love red, so I would like to make a little bow out of it. Now this ribbon is so slippery. I'm trying to tie it kind of a knot, a slip knot, before I put it on, but I'm not having much luck. I should have edited this out, but I was struggling here. This ribbon is so slippery. But it's so pretty. I have to use it. Okay, a third try. Got it. Haha. Just a simple bow, and then you can add your embellishment if you wish. I'm treating this like a spell jar, spell bottles, spell ball, spell ornament, so I like to add colors correspondence as well as my embellishments. Everything for me represents something different and unique. There, just a simple leaf to bring on springtime. I am ready. I am at minus 25 to minus 40 degrees Celsius right now as I'm filming this video. Happy to do crafts indoors. All right, let's have some fun with our next one. All right, next up we got some home protection. We got some black salt. We're going to start off with ruled by the moon and water. Protective properties. It can be used alone or as is, as a base, and spell work. Sprinkle it around to keep your environment safe. You could use them in the four corners of each room to absorb negative energy. So this is a good one to throw on your tree, to keep on your altar, throw in your window all year round, which I'm going to be doing after I take down my Yule tree. Next up is bay leaves, ruled by the sun and the element fire. You could also write on these bay leaves too before you put them in, but the hole was a little small and it was quite crinkled, but it would still have the effect if you want to rock that too. It's great against psychic attacks. It's good for home protection, psychic development, prophet dreams. It'll dispel negative energies. It's for spell breaking, protection against negative magic, for love, passion, harmony. It's good for inspiration, wisdom, justice, memory, release, strength, fertility, as well as victory for an employment. Good for money spells. You want to write down your intentions and burn that as well. Send that off into the universe. Great, great, great for money spells. Really amazing for protection as well. Next is Bone Set. This is my first time using it on this channel. Ruled by Saturn and water. It's protection and for good for exorcism, for cord cutting. It wards off evil spirits. And if you infuse it or sprinkle it around the house, it can help undo curses. Our next up is bee pollen. Of course, this is ruled by the sun and fire. This is sun magic at its finest. Protection against negativity, exorcism, healing, purification, and it has amazing health benefits. A little bit of bee magic coming in here. I also haven't used this on the channel. This is for a future spell that I bought this in mind, but I thought, hey, this is great for protection as well. You'll be seeing bee pollen again in January. Mugwort, ruled by Venus and the element Earth, amplifies psychic vision and psychic power. It's good for protection, for prophetic dreams, healing, and aids in astral projection and lucid dreaming. Also, you'll be seeing this herb again in January. Hint, hint, lucid dreaming. Ooh, astral projection. Cinnamon, ruled by the Sun, Mercury, Mars, and Uranus, and the element fire. Good for clairvoyance and raised spiritual vibrations. It helps focus divination, aids in astral projection, prosperity, success, healing, lust, power, passion. It aids in dreams, strength, courage, and personal development. It's also good for luck, peace, communication, happiness, inspiration, and wisdom. We're going to use a little clear quartz in here as well. Remember, that is great for cleansing. Clear quartz are also good for clearing out negative vibrations. It'll help put positive spiritual energy in and take out the negative. Now we're throwing down some rose quartz. I've already gone over when I did the love ball spell, so I won't hit it again, but the reason why I did the rose quartz in this one is because I have a lot of love in my home. And I use a lot of love in my spells to enhance and empower. So that's why I rocked it in this one. And our parchment paper with our home blessing. Smoke of fire and earth. Cleanse and bless this home and hearth. Drive away all harm and fear. Only good may enter here. How good is your pause game? Let's see if you can catch that. I just throw that down in a little jump ring to hold it in place. I'm going to place this on the inside of the protection ball. Again, remember to glue the little silver thingy on top, so in case it falls, it won't come smashing down. And I'm going to use black ribbon here. Black is for elegance, power, mystery. It's to ward off evil, and in my views, it's for rebirth. Great for protection and to absorb any negative entities. Before I add my embellishment, I'm adding one more bow. This ribbon is not so slippery as the red one, a lot easier to deal with. And the embellishment that I choose is a pentacle, a little extra protection on the outside of the ball. There we be, your own little protection bottle. Because of the charcoal, it's got kind of a smoky finish to it. It's quite pretty. It looks like blown glass. Well, thank you so very much for hanging out with me today. It was such a pleasure making these with you. Throw me down in the comments below if you're going to make one of these three, or if you made these before and have your own spells that you'd like to use. I would love to hear about it. Have yourself a fantastic and magical holiday. Blessed be.